What's up, Florida? Good morning. Happy Thursday to everybody. Today's Thursday, February 5th. My name's Glenn. This is Florida Weather Stream, where we break down current weather conditions across the states and also look at upcoming forecasts and expectations for the days ahead. So without further ado, we'll jump right into it. And depending on where you're at in the state, you're either having a dry start to your day or maybe a little bit of a wet one. You can see where our frontal passage is currently. That is parked right over central Florida. And we've got some light to moderate rain happening in select locations, specifically more moderate values happening just south of Kissimmee, St. Cloud area, also down by Sebring. So hopefully those will bring some beneficial rains to you all. But outside of that, it's very much a light rain and very, very scattered and splotchy. Not a widespread event by any stretch. And this is moving fairly briskly. So we'll see this pass down through the state into extreme southern Florida here by early afternoon. And by the end of the day, this should be out of here completely. Taking a look at like the last 72 hours of precip, we can see here that yesterday was a pretty bountiful day in the Panhandle for rainfall, especially if you're in the Panama City area. We had values right along the coast here at Santa Rosa Beach, Panama City, of 1.25 to 1.5 inches of rain yesterday. So a really, really good soaking there. Generally speaking, this light green shaded area, we saw values in the 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch range for the most part in this region to the north and west of Tallahassee. As for the rest of the state, unfortunately, that didn't happen for the rest of us. This light blue shading here pretty much represents values of 1/10 of an inch to maybe 1/4 of an inch in spots. But overall, a very light rain event for the rest of us here across the northern half of the state. A little bit of a higher value there up by Folkston and Fernandina Beach. But generally speaking, kind of a dud for the rest of us in terms of rainfall. So hopefully folks down in South Florida, will pick up on some of those more generous rainfall amounts, but I do expect that's going to be a very limited scattered type scenario, nothing like what we saw yesterday up there in the Panhandle. Current satellite pretty much paints the same picture. You can see where that frontal boundary is draped across the central part of the state. We do have a little bit of a sunny start to the day down in extreme South Florida, but that's going to soon come to an end as all of this is heading your way here, probably by midday, early afternoon. You'll be underneath all of this and experiencing a little bit of rainfall. On the opposite side of our boundary, you can see the cooler, drier air spilling down into northwestern Florida and the Panhandle. Things are clearing out there rapidly. So you should have a very bright blue sky, gorgeous looking day out there, albeit a little bit more on the cool side. This is current temps as of 8 a.m. this morning. And you can see where that frontal boundary is, pretty much, say, from St. Augustine, Palatka down to Gainesville and points south. You are still in the southern side of this warm air and moist air boundary. And then on the flip side of that, central northern Florida, northwestern Florida Panhandle back into the 40s and some upper 30s, very extreme western Panhandle. But really, all things considered, after what we just went through in the last week, this is by no means a repeat of that type of cold air. So I would say more seasonal type of cold shot here. That being said, the National Weather Service office in Jacksonville has issued a freeze warning for tonight for inland counties in north central Florida. And these are the typical counties that we tend to see hard freeze warning. Well, excuse me, not hard freeze, but freeze warning. As cold air tends to pull down into this area. When we get cold air that comes down from the northern states, it tends to settle down in this area. Because these are kind of like lowlands down here, and then we've actually got swampland up here around extreme southern Georgia. Obviously, Okefenokee Swamp is right up in here as well. But cold air tends to pull down in here and settle. So it's no surprise to see freeze warnings pop up. So their expectation is temps as low as 29 to 32 degrees in this region here. So Westside Jacksonville, Palatka, Ocala, Gainesville, Lake City, Live Oak. Although I'm not entirely buying into this because as of the morning model runs for the Euro, the freeze line really just gets down to right about the Florida-Georgia line there. Not really seeing many values at 32. There's one right there, but generally speaking, most of the values on this model run for 6 a.m. tomorrow are showing temps north of 32 degrees. And if we go to the GFS, it actually shows a little bit milder. We're in the middle 30s here on the GFS model for tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So I'm not quite certain we're going to hit, freeze tomorrow morning. But again, the National Weather Service office is calling for it, so we'll see how that pans out tomorrow morning. In terms of upcoming rains, let's get back to, this is a couple hours ago, obviously. So this is right about where we're at right now on the screen. And as you see, this is going to kind of move on offshore here as we get later into the afternoon. But beyond this, it looks like, unfortunately, folks, another long, dry spell. We don't really see any opportunities for rain coming until we get to, say, Saturday. We have this frontal passage coming through, which on this model run looks pretty robust and energetic. Let's hope it stays like that, because that looks like it could be a decent rain opportunity for all of us. But again, this is, we're looking beyond 7 days out. So, take this with a grain of salt. Chances are it's not going to look exactly like this. But at the moment, this appears to be our next big rainmaker opportunity. And we're, what is that, 7, 8 days out from now? So we'll have to see how that pans out as the days go by. But again, it looks like we're in for kind of a long stretch of more dry air, unfortunately. But the good news is temps are rebounding. You see the central United States, we're heading into a warming phase here for the period of February 10th to the 14th. And obviously that is marching eastward here into the state of Florida as well. So generally speaking, our temps are going to be on the rebound as we continue beyond this frontal passage currently, and we have a brief cool down for about a day or so. But beyond that, it's going to be a week of rebounding temperatures. So that's the good news. We'll be dry, but at least it'll be warm and pleasant across the state for at least the upcoming week. Taking a look around currently, let's go out to Clearwater Beach. Looking breezy out there. We got a pretty gusty wind coming in off the Gulf there. Frontal passage has already been through here, so now obviously we're picking up some of that northwesterly breeze. Looks like there is some breaks in the clouds happening there, but quite a breezy and probably chilly day going on there in Clearwater Beach at the moment. We go a little bit further down. Let's try Siesta Key. Yeah, it looks like probably still some rain action going on in Siesta Key. This is obviously right out by Sarasota. Looks a bit wet there, air temp 61. Quite breezy as well. And let's jump back over to Destin. Yesterday, this was quite a different picture, very rainy and wet. Obviously, today is totally different. We are now at, let's see, let's refresh this, make sure we get a current value. Yeah, looking very windy, breezy. Man, we got some serious camera shake going on. I'm not sure the stability of that tower there, or if that's just one of those poles that this camera is situated on top of, and maybe on top of a building. But wow, some obvious breezy conditions happening there in Destin. Yeah, and here we are at Crab Island, very choppy. You can see the wind blowing the water there out by the bridge. And let me refresh this as well, make sure we have current conditions noted here. There we go. So it's 38 degrees, so and breezy. North-northwest wind at 9 miles an hour, gust to 16. So what a difference a day makes. Looked completely different yesterday. This bay was pretty much all flat as glass yesterday. And speaking of that, let's check all the way down to our friends in the Keys. Oh my goodness. That looks amazing. There we go. Refresh. Gosh, look at that. It's like a postcard. That is glass, glass, glass water. Not a breath of air moving. Incredible. What a picture. Well, my vote, folks, is to be in Key Largo this morning. That's where I want to be because that looks way better than my current conditions here in Jacksonville. What a beautiful start to the day there. That I cannot believe how completely glassy that water is. That is just totally amazing. But that's our morning, folks, and our look around Florida. So I hope everybody has an awesome day out there today. And again, if you guys have any suggestions for us on other live cam feeds that we should include on our videos, let us know. We will definitely incorporate those and use them wherever possible. I mean, those things are awesome to kind of get a view around the state, but especially if we're experiencing any kind of severe weather, tropical weather, what have you, those videos come in really handy so that we can get like real-time views on what's happening with the weather outside. So great tools for us to use to kind of keep an eyeball and track on the weather as things develop across their state. But that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Everybody have a blessed day. Until then, take care.